I remember, Adam. It was upon this fashion, bequeath me by will but for 1,000 crowns, and, as thou sayest, charged my brother in his blessing to breed me well. And there begins my sadness. My brother Danny, he keeps at school and report speaks goldenly of his profit. As for my part, he keeps me rustically at home, or, to speak more properly, stays me here at home unkept. For call you that raising of a lady of my birth, that differs not from the stalling of an ox. His horses are bred better, for besides the fact that they are fair with their feeding, they know their manage, and to which end riders dearly hired. But I, his sister, gain nothing unto him but growth, to the which the animals on his dunghills are as much bound to him as I. The nothing he so plentifully gives me, the something that nature gives me, his countenance seems to take from me. He makes me feed with his hinds, bars me the place of a sister, and as much as in him lies, minds my gentility with my education. This is it, Adam, that which grieves me, and the spirit of my father that I think is in me begins to mutiny against this servitude. I will no longer endure it. Yet, I know no wise remedy how to avoid it.
Your brother, my master, he comes.
Go apart, Adam, thou shalt see how he shall shake me up.
Now, madam, what make you here?
Nothing, I'm not taught to make anything.
What am I then, madam?
Marry, sir, I'm helping that tomorrow which God made, a poor, unworthy sister with idleness.
Marry, madam, be better employed at me naught while.
Shall I keep your hogs and eat husks with them? What prodigal portion have I spent to come to such penury?
Know you where you are, madam?
Oh, very well. Here, in your orchard.
Know you before whom, madam?
Aye. Better than him I am before knows me. You are my elder brother, and so in the gentle condition of blood should so know me. The courtesy of nations allows you my better, in that you were born first. But that same tradition takes not away my blood, were there 20 brothers and sisters betwixt us. I have as much of my father in me as you. Albeit, your coming before me does make you a lot closer to his revenants.
What girl?
Come, elder brother, you are too young in this!
Wilt thou lay hands on me, villain?
I am no villain. I am the youngest child of Sir Roland de Boy. He is my father, and he is thrice a villain as him who says such a father begot villains. Wert thou not my brother, I would not take this hand from thy throat till the other had pulled out thy tongue for saying so. Thou hast railed on thyself.
Sweet master mistress, be patient for your father's remembrance. Be in accord.
Go, I say!
I will not till I please. You will hear me. My father charged you in his blessing to train me properly, and you have treated me like a peasant, hiding and obscuring all gentle qualities. The spirit of my father grows strong in me, and I will no longer endure it. Therefore, allow me such studies as that become a gentleman, or give me the poor lottery my father left me by testament, and with that I will go buy my fortunes.
And what wilt thou do? Beg when that's spent? Well, madam, get you in. I will no longer be troubled with you. You shall have some part of your will. I pray you, leave me.
I will no further offend you than that becomes me for my good.
Get you whither, you old dog.
This old dog, my lord. Most true. I have lost my teeth in your service. God be with my old master. He would not have spoke such a word.
Is it even so? Begin you to grow upon me. I'll physic your rankness and yet give no 1,000 crowns neither, for tomorrow the wrestling is.
Good morrow to your worship.
Good morning to Charles. What's the new news of the new court?
There's no news at the court. Ah, but the old news. That is, the old duke was banished by his younger brother, the new duke. 3 or 4 loving lords have followed him into voluntary exile. The lands and revenues rich new duke, therefore he gives them good leave to wander.
Can you tell if Rosalind, the duke's daughter, be banished with her father?
Oh no, but the duke's daughter, her cousin, so loves her. Ever from their cradles bred together, she would have followed her into exile and died to stay behind her. She's at the court, and no less beloved by Duke as his own daughter, and no two ladies loved as they do.
Where will the old Duke live?
They say he's in the forest of Arden with many merry men with him, and there they live like the old Robin Hood of England. They say many young gentlemen flock to him every day, and they fleet the time carelessly, as they did in the Golden World.
What, you wrestle tomorrow with the new Duke?
Married do I, sir, and I came to acquaint you with the matter. I'm given, sir, that equally your sister Orlando hath a disposition to come in disguise against me to try a fool. Tomorrow I wrestle for my credit, and he shall escape me without such broken limb, shall acquit him well. Your sister is but young and tender, and out of my love to you, I'll be loath to fall on her as I must for my own credit. Therefore, out of my love to you, came hither to acquit you withal, that either you might stay such intendment, or brook such disgrace well that she run into, as is a thing of her own sentiment, altogether against my will.
Charles, I thank thee for thy love to me, which thou shalt find thou most kindly requite. I had myself noticed my sister's purpose herein, and have by underhand means laboured to dissuade her from it, but she is resolute. I'll tell thee, Charles, is the stubbornest young woman of France, full of ambition, an envious emulator of every man's good parts, a secret and villainous contriver against me, her natural brother. Therefore use thy discretion, as lief thou dost break her neck as her finger, and thou wert best look to it, for if thou dost her any slight disgrace, or if she does not mightily grace herself upon thee, she will practice against thee by poison, entrap thee by some treacherous device, and never let thee go till she have taken thy life by some indirect means or another. For I assure thee, almost with tears I speak it, there is not one so young and so villainous this day living. I speak but brotherly of her, but should I anatomize her to see as she is, I must blush and weep, and thou must look pale and wonder.
I'm heartily glad I came hither to you. If she come tomorrow, I'll give her her payment, and if ever she go alone again, I'll never rest her for prize more.
Farewell, good Charles.
May God keep your worship.
Now will I stir this gamester. I hope I shall see an end to her, for my heart, yet I know not why, hates nothing more than she. Yet she's gentle, never schooled, and yet learned, full of noble device, of all sorts enchantingly beloved, and so much in the heart of the world, especially of my own people, who best know her, that I am altogether misprized. But it shall not be so long. This wrestler shall clear all. Nothing remains but I kindle the girl thither, which now I'll go about.
Rosalind, sweet my coz, be merry.
Dear Celia, I show more mirth than I am mistress of. When would you get ever merrier? Unless you can teach me to forget a vanished father, you must not learn me how to remember any extraordinary pleasure.
Herein I see thou lovest me not with the full weight that I love thee. If my uncle, thy banished father, had banished thy uncle, the Duke my father, so thou hadst been still with me, I could have taught my love to take thy father for mine. So wouldst thou, if the truth of thy love for me was so righteously tempered as mine is to thee.
Well, then I will forget the condition of my estate to rejoice in yours.
You know my father hath no child but I, nor none is like to have. So truly, when he dies, thou shalt be his heir. For what he has taken away from your father perforce, I will render thee again in affection, by mine honour I will. And when I break that oath, let me be turned monster. Therefore my rose, my sweet rose, be merry.
From henceforth I will, coz, and devise sports. Let me see. What think you of falling in love?
Marry, I really do, to make sport withal, but love no man in good earnest. For no further in sport than with the safety of a pure blush thou mayest in honour come off again.
For what shall be our sport then?
Let us sit, and mock the good housewife Fortune from her will, that from henceforth her gifts may be bestowed equally.
Would that we could do so, for her benefits are mightily misplaced. That bounteous blind woman doth most mistake in her gifts to women.
'Tis true, for those that she makes fair, she scarce makes honest, and those that she makes honest, she makes very ill-favouredly.
Nay, there thou goest from Fortune's office to Nature's. Fortune reigns in gifts of the world, not in the land of nature.
No? Though nature makes a fair creature, may she not make fortune fall into the fire? Though nature hath given us wit to flounce at fortune, hath not fortune sent in this fool to cut off the argument?
Indeed. Fortune too hard for nature, when fortune makes nature's natural the cutter off of nature's wit.
Peradventure this is not fortune's work neither, but nature's, who perceiveth our natural wit too dull to reason it goddesses, and has sent in this natural for our whetstone. For it is always the dullness of the fool that is the whetstone of the wit. How now, wit, whither wander you?
Mistress, you must come away to your father.
Will you make the messenger?
No, by my honour, I have been to come for you.
Well earned you that oath, fool.
A certain knight, I swore, by his honour, that they were good pancakes, and swore, by his honour, the mustard was naught. Now, I'll stand to it. The pancakes were naught, and the mustard was good, yet was not the knight forsworn.
How proveth you that in the great heap of your knowledge?
I marry, I'll novel your wisdom.
Stand you both off now, stroke your chins and swear by your beards that I'm knave.
By our beards, if we had them, thou art.
By my knavery, if I had it, then I were, but swear by that, that is not. You're not forsworn. So, no more was this knight swearing by his honour, for he never had any. Or if he had, he'd sworn away before he ever saw those pancakes or that mustard.
Prithee, who is that thou meanest?
One little Frederick, your father loves.
My father's love is enough to honour him. Enough. Speak no more of it. He'll be whipped for taxation one of these days.
Fools may not speak wisely. Wise men do foolishly.
Though my troth thou sayest true. Since the little wit that fools have with science, the little foolery that wise men have makes a great show. Here comes Madame Le Beau.
With her mouthful of
That
news.
shall put on us as pigeons feed their young.
Then shall we be news crack?
Will be made all the more marketable. Bonjour, Madame Le Beau. What's the news?
Princess, you've lost much good sport.
Sport of what colour?
Colour, madame, how shall I answer you?
As wit and fortune will.
What was the destiny's decree?
Well said, that was laid on with a trowel.
Nay, why not keep my racket?
Did I lose it by old smell?
You amaze me, ladies. I would have told you of good wrestling, which you have lost the sight of.
Oh, yeah, tell us the manner of this wrestling.
I will tell you the beginning, and then if it please your ladyships, you may see the end. For the best is yet to come, and here, where you are, they are coming to perform it.
Well, the beginning, that is dead and buried.
There comes an old man and his 3 sons.
I can match this beginning with an old tale.
3 proper young men of excellent growth and presence.
With bills at their necks, being known unto all men by these presents.
The eldest of the 3 wrestled Charles, the Duke's wrestler, which Charles in a moment threw him and broke 3 of his ribs. There was little hope of life left in him. So he served the 2nd and so the 3rd. Yonder they lie, the poor old man, their father, making such pitiful dole over them that all the beholders take his part with weeping.
Alas.
But what is the sport, madame, that the ladies have lost?
Why, this, that I speak of.
Lost men may grow wiser every day. This is the first time ever I heard the breaking of wings was a sport for ladies.
All right, I promise thee. But is there any other that longs to see the broken music in his side? Just yet another dote upon rib breaking. Shall we see this wrestling, cousin?
You must, if you stay here. For here is a place appointed for the wrestling, and they are ready to perform it.
Yonder show they are coming.
Oh, let us in.
Come on. If you've not been treated, zone peril on his forwardness.
Is yonder the man?
Even he, madam.
Alas, he is too young. Yet he looks successfully.
How now, daughter and cousin? Are you crept hither to see the wrestling?
I, my liege, I pray you give us leave.
You'll take no delight in it, I can tell you. There is such honesty in the man. The pity of his youth, though, fain dissuade him, but he will not be entreated. Speak to him, ladies. See if you can move him.
Call him hither, good Madame Le Beau.
Do so. I'll not be by.
Monsieur the Child! The princess is calling for you.
I attend them with much respect and duty.
Young man, have you challenged Charles the wrestler?
No, fair princess. He is the general challenger. I combat him as others do to try with him the strength of my youth. Young gentleman, your spirits are too bold for your years. You have seen cruel proof of this man's strength. If you saw yourself with your eyes or knew yourself with your judgment, the fear of your adventure would counsel you to a more equal enterprise. We pray you, for your own safety, to embrace your own safety and give over this attempt.
Do, young sir. Your reputation shall not therefore be misprized. We will make it our suit to the Duke that the wrestling might not go forward.
I beseech you, punish me not with your hard thoughts, when I confess me much guilty to deny such fair and excellent ladies anything. But let your gentle eyes and fair wishes go with me to trial, wherein if I be foiled, there is but one shame that was ever gracious. If killed, but one dead, that was willing to be so. I'll do my friends no wrong, for in this world I have none to lament me. Do the world no injury, for in it I have nothing. Only in this world I fill up a space that may be better supplied when I had made it empty.
What little strength I have, I would it were with you.
And mine to eke out hers.
Very well. Pray heaven I be deceived in you.
Your heart's desires go with you.
Come! Where is this young gallant that so desires to lie with his mother Earth?
Ready, sir? But 'tis will have it in a more modest working.
You shall try but one fall.
No, I warrant your grace. Would you not entreat him to a second that so mightily dissuade him from a first?
You should have mocked me after, you mean not to mock me before, but come your ways.
Break him down! Fine!
Oh, excellent, young man.
No more! No more!
I beseech your grace, I'm not yet well grieved.
How dost thou, Charles?
I cannot speak, my lord.
Bear him away. What is thy name, young man?
Orlando, my liege, the youngest child and only daughter of Sir Roland de Bois.
I would thou had been son to some man else. The world esteemed thy father honourable, yet I did still find him mine enemy. Thou should have better pleased me indeed had thou been descended from another house. But fare thee well. Thou art a gallant youth. Or wouldst thou have told me of another father?
Were I my father, could I do this?
I am more proud to be Sir Roland de Bois' youngest child, his only daughter, and would not change that calling to be made heir to Frederick! Oh! Oh! Oh!
My father loved Sir Roland as a soul, and all the world was of my father's mind. Had I before known this young woman, his daughter, I should have sent her tears unto entreaties as you should thus have ventured.
Gentle cousin, let us go thank her and encourage her. My father's envious disposition sticks me at heart. Lady, you have well deserved. If you should keep your promises in love, but justly, as you have exceeded all promise, your master shall be happy.
Lady, wear this for me, one out of suits with fortune, who could give more, but her hands lack means. Shall we go, girls?
Aye, there you are.
Can I not say I thank you? Oh, my better parts are all thrown down, and that which stands here is a quintain, a mere lifeless block. I cannot speak to her, and yet she urged conference. What passion hangs these weights upon my tongue? Oh, Orlando, thou art overthrown! Or Charles, so weaker masters thee.
Lady, I do in friendship counsel you to leave this place, albeit you have deserved high commendation, true applause and love. Such now the Duke's condition that he misconstrues all that you have done. The Duke is humorous, what is indeed more suits you to conceive than I to speak of.
I thank you, but tell me this. Which of the two girls here today were daughter to the Duke?
Neither his daughter, if we judge by manners, yet indeed the letter is his daughter. The other is daughter to the banished Duke, and he detained by her usurped usurping uncle to keep his daughter company. His loves are dearer than the natural bond of sisters. But I can tell you that of late the Duke hath tamed his pleasure against his gentle niece, grounded upon no other argument than that the people praise her for her virtues and pity her for her good father's sake. And on my life, his malice against the lady was suddenly grateful! Lady, fare you well. Hereafter, in a better world than this, I shall desire more love and knowledge of you.
I rest much bound unto you. Fare thee well. And thus I must from the smoke unto the smother, from tyrant duke unto a tyrant brother. Oh, but heavenly Rosalind.
Why, cousin? Why, Rosalind? Cupid have mercy, not a word.
Not one to throw at a dog.
Nay, their words are too precious to be thrown upon cares. You must throw some of them at me. Come, lame me with reasons.
And there were two cousins laid up, whether one should be lamed with reasons and the other mad without any.
But is all of this for your father?
Ah, full of briars is this working day world.
They are but birds, cousin, thrown upon thee in holiday foolery. If we walk not the trodden paths, our very petticoats will catch them.
I could shake them off my coat. These birds are in my heart.
Hem them away.
I would try if I could cry hem and have her.
Oh, come, wrestle with thy affection.
Oh, they take the part of a better wrestler than myself.
Oh, a good will upon you. You will try in time in despite of all. Now, turning these jests out of service, let us talk in good earnest. Is it possible on such a sudden you should fall into so strong a liking with old Sir Roland's daughter?
The Duke, my father, loved her father dearly.
Does it therefore ensue that you must love his daughter dearly? By this kind of chase I should hate her, for my father hated her father dearly. Yes, I hate not Orlando.
No, Faith, hate her not, for my sake.
Why not? Does she not deserve well?
Well, let me love her for that. And do you love her because I do? Oh, look, here comes the Duke.
With his eyes full of anger.
Mistress, dispatch with your saber stays and get you from our court.
Me, uncle?
You, cousin, within these 10 days, if thou beest found so near our public court as 20 miles, thou diest for it.
I do beseech your grace, let the knowledge of my fault bear with me. If with myself I hold intelligence, or have acquaintance with mine own desires, if I do not dream or be not frantic, which I do trust that I am not, then, dear uncle, never so much as in thought unborn did I offend your highness.
Thus do all traitors. If their purgation be consist in words, they're as innocent as grace itself. Let it suffice, I trust thee not.
Yet your mistrust cannot make me a traitor. Tell me whereupon the likelihood depends.
Thou art thy father's daughter. That's enough.
So was I when your highness took his dukedom. So was I when your highness banished him. But treason is not inherited, my lord. Or if we do derive it from our friends, what's that to me? My father was no traitor. Then, good my liege, mistake me not so much to think my poverty is treacherous.
Dear sovereign, hear me speak.
Aye, Celia, we stayed a hippie also because she her father ranged along.
I did not entreat to have her stay. It was your pleasure and your own remorse. I was too young at that time to value her. But now I know her. If she be traitor, then why, so am I. We still have slept together, rose at an instant, learned, played, and wheresoever we went like Juno's swans, coupled and inseparable.
She is too subtle for thee, and her smoothness, her very silence and ovation speak to the people, and they pity her. Thou art a fool, she robs thee of thy name, and thou will show more bright and seem more virtuous when she is gone.
That's not fair!
Thou open not thy lips! Firm and irrevocable is my doom which I have passed upon her. She is banished!
Pass that sentence then on me, my liege. I cannot live out of her company.
Thou art a fool. You, niece, provide yourself. If you have stayed the time, upon mine honour and in the greatness of my word, thou diest.
Oh, my poor Rosalind, whither wilt thou go? Wilt thou exchange fathers? I will give thee mine. I pray thee, thou be not more grieved than I am.
I have more cause.
Thou hast not. Pray thee be cheerful. Knowest thou not the Duke hath banished me, his daughter?
That he hath not.
No, hath not. Rosalind lacks then the love which teaches thee that thou and I am one. Shall we be sundered? Shall we part, sweet girl? No, let my father seek another heir. Therefore devise with me where we shall go, whither to go, and what to bear with us. And do not seek to take your change upon you, to bear your griefs yourself, and leave me out. For by this heaven, now at our sorrows pale, say what thou canst. I'll go along with thee.
Why, whither shall we go?
To seek my uncle in the forest of Arden.
Alas, what danger will it be to us, maids as we are, to travel forth so far? Beauty provoketh thieves sooner than gold.
in poor and mean attire, and with a kind of umber smirched to my face, the like to you, and so we shall pass along and never stir a sailors.
Were it not better, because I am more than common tall, if I did suit me at all points like a man? You know, a gallant curtain axe at my thigh, a boar spear in my hand, and in my heart lie there what hidden woman's fears their will. Or have a swashing and a marshal outside, as many other managed cowards have that do outface it with their semblances.
What should I call thee without a man?
I'll have no worse name than Jove's own page, therefore look you call me Ganymede. Or what will you be called?
Something that hath a reference to my state, no longer Celia, but Aliena.
But cousin, what if we say to steal that clownish fool out of your father's court? Would he not be a comfort to our travel?
Oh, he'll go o'er the wide world with me. Leave me alone to woo him. Now, let us get our jewels and riches together, devise the fittest time and safest way to avoid the pursuit that we made after my flight. Now we go in content to liberty and not to banishment.
Impossible that no man saw them! I cannot. Some villains of my quarter consent and sufferance in this.
Cannot hear any to see her. The ladies, her tenants of a chamber saw her at bed, and in the morning early found the bed and treasure of their mistress.
My lord, the boyish clown at whom so oft your grace was wont to laugh is also missing. Hesperia, the princess's gentlewoman, confesses that she secretly overheard your daughter and her cousin much commend the passing graces of the wrestler who did the lady foil to sinewy Charles. She believes, wherever they are, that the youth is surely in their company.
Bring that girl hither. If she be absent, bring her brother to me. I'll make him find her. Do this suddenly, and let not search the Inquisition quail to bring again these foolish runaways.
Mistress,
Who's there?
what, my own mistress? Oh, my gentle mistress. Oh, my sweet mistress. Memory of old sorrow. Why? What make you here? Why are you virtuous? Why do people love you? And wherefore are you gentle, strong, and valiant? Why would you be so fond to overcome the bonny prizer of the humorous duke? Your praises come too swiftly home before you. No, you mock, mistress, to some kind of men. Their graces serve them but as enemies. No more do yours. Your virtues, gentle mistress, are sanctified and wholly traced to you. Oh, what a world is this, when what is commonly envenomed she that bears it!
What's the matter?
Oh, unhappy youth, come not within these doors, within this roof. The enemy of all your graces lives, your brother. No, no brother, yet the son, yet not the son. I would not hold him sight of him I was about to call his father. Hath heard your praises, and this night he means to burn the lodging where you used to lie, and you within it. If he fail of that, he will have other means to cut you off. I overheard him in his practices. This is no place. This house is but a butchery. Abhor it, fear it, do not enter it.
What? Whither, Adam, wilt have me go?
No matter whither, soon come not here.
What? Wilt thou have me go beg my food? Or with base and boisterous sword enforce a thievish living on the common road? This I must do, know not what to do. Yet this I will not do. Do how I can. I'd rather subject myself to the malice of diverted blood and bloody brother.
But do not, sir. I have 500 crowns. The 50 hire I saved unto your father, which I did store to be mindful, nurse, when service should in my old limbs I lay when unregarded age and corner's throne. Take that, and he that doth the raven's feed. Yea, providently caters to the sparrow. Be comfort to my age. Here is the gold, and all this I give you. Let me go with you. Though I look old, yet I am strong and lusty. For in my youth I never did apply hot and rebellious liquors in my blood, nor did not unbashful forehead woo the means of weakness and debility. Therefore my age is as a lusty winter, frosty, be kindly. Let me go with you, under the service of a younger man, in all your business and necessities.
Oh, good old man! How well in thee appears the constant service of the antique world, where service sweat for duty, not for meed. Yet thou art not for the fashion of these times, when none will sweat but for promotion, and do choke that up even with the having of it. But, poor old man, thou prunest a rotten tree that cannot so much blossom yield, in lieu of all thy pains and husbandry. But, come thy ways, we'll go along together, and ere we have thy youthful wages spent, we'll settle upon some low content.
Go on, mistress, and I will follow thee, to the last gasp, with truth and loyalty. From 17 years till now, when with fourscore here lived I, but live here no more. At 17 years many their fortune seek, but at fourscore is too late or weak. Yet fortune cannot recompense me better than to die well, and not my master's debtor.
Not seen her since. Sir, that cannot be! Were I not the better part made mercy, I would not seek an absent argument of my revenge. Thou present. But look to it. Find out thy sister wheresoever she may, fill with candle, and bring her to me, living or dead, within this 12-month, or turn ye no more to find her living within our lands. Thy lands and all things worth seizure do we seize into our hands, until thou can acquit thee of what we think of thee by thy sister's mouth.
Oh, your highness knew my heart in this. I never loved my sister in my life.
More villain thou! Well, turn her out of doors, and let my officers of such a nature make extents upon our lands and house. Do this expediently, and turn her going.
Now, my co-mates and brothers in exile, hath not old custom made this life more sweet than that of painting? Are not these woods more free from peril than the envious court? Here feel we but the penalty of Adam, the seasons different, as the icy fang and churlish striding of the winter's wind, which, when it bites and blows upon my body, even till I shrink with cold, I smile and say, this is no flattery. These are counselors that feelingly persuade me what I am. Sweet are the uses of adversity, which, like the toad, ugly and venomous, wears yet a precious jewel in his head. And this, our life, exempt from public horn, finds tongues in trees, books in the running brooks, sermons in stones, and good in everything. I would not change it.
Happy is your grace that can translate the stubbornness of fortune into so quiet and so sweet a style.
Come, shall we go kill us venison? And yet it irks me that poor dappled fools, being native burghers of this desert city, should, in their own confines with forked heads, have their round haunches gored.
Indeed, my lord, the melancholy Jacques grieves at that, and in that kind swears you do more usurp than doth your brother that hath planned to. Today, myself and some others did steal behind him as he lay under an oak whose antique roof peeps out from the brook that brawls along this wood. By the witch place, a poor sequestered stag, by which the hunter's aim had taken a hurt, did come to ambush. And indeed, my lord, the wretched animal heaved forth such groans that their discharge did stretch his leathern coat almost to bursting, and the big, round tears coursed but unloaded down his innocent nose and piteous face. And thus, the hairy fool, much marked of the melancholy Jacques, stood on the extremest verge of the swift brook, augmenting it with tears.
But what said Jacques? Did he not moralize this spectacle?
Oh, into 1,000 similes. First, for his weeping into the needless tree. Poor dear.
thou makest a testament as worldlings do, giving thy sum of more to that which had too much. Then, being there alone, left and abandoned of his velvet friends, 'tis right, quoth Shack, thus misery doth part the flocks of company. Anna, a careless herd, full of the pasture, jumps along by him, and never stays to greet him. Aye, quoth Shack, 'tis just the fashion. Wherefore do you look upon that poor and broken bankrupt there? And thus, most inductively, he pierceth through the body of country, city, court, yea, and of this, our life, swearing that we are mere usurpers, tyrants, and what's worse, to fright the animals, and to kill them up in their assigned and native dwelling place.
And did you leave him in his contemplation?
We did, my lord, weeping and commenting upon the sobbing deer.
Show me the place. I love to cope him in these sullen fits, for then he's full of matter.
I'll bring you to him straight.
Oh, Jupiter, how weary are my spirits.
I care not for my spirits, my legs are not weary.
Finding in my heart to disgrace my man's apparel and cry like a woman. But I must comfort the weaker vessel, as doublet and hose ought to show itself courageous to petticoat. Therefore, courage, good Ariana.
I pray you bear with me. I cannot go no further.
For my part, I'd rather bear with you than bear you. Yet I shall bear no cross if I did bear you. For I think I've no money in your purse.
Well, this is the first of Arden.
Aye. Now I'm in Arden, the more fall I. But when I was at home, I was in a better place. But travellers must be content.
I be so, Miss Touchstone. Oh, look who comes here. A young man with an old and solemn talk.
That is a way to make us scorn you still.
Oh, but if thou knewest how I do love her.
I've partly guessed, for I've loved her now.
No, Corin, you are old. Thou canst not guess, though in thy youth thou wast as true a love was ever sighed upon midnight pillow, if thy love were ever like to mine. As sure I think did never man love so. How many actions most ridiculous has thou been drawn to by thy fancy?
Into 1,000 I have forgotten.
Oh, that thy hands have ne'er loved so heartily. If thou rememberest not the slightest folly that love did ever make thee run into, thou hast not loved. Oh, if thou hast not sat, as I do now, well in thy listener and thy mistress's praise, thou hast not loved. Oh, if thou hast not brunk abruptly from company, as my passion now doth make me, thou hast not loved. Oh, Phoebe, Phoebe, Phoebe!
Alas, poor shepherd! In searching for thy wound, I have by hard adventure found mine own.
And mine. I remember when I was in love. I broke my sword upon a stone and bid him take that for coming to a night, James smiled. And I remember kissing the batlet and the cow's dogs with a pretty chopped hand of milk. And I remember the wooing of a peas cod. I took 2 cods, giving them back to her. I said with weeping tears, where is her, I said? As true lovers, we run into strange capers. But as all is mortal in nature, so is all nature in love mortal in folly.
Thou speakest wiser than thou art ware of.
Nay! I should never be aware of my own weight till I break my shins against it.
Oh, Jove, Jove, this shepherd's passion is much upon my fashion.
And I. But it grew something stale with me.
I pray you, one of you question yon man. If he for any gold will give us food, I faint nearly to death.
Honour you, clown!
Peace! He's not like things.
You're better, sir?
Not something very wretched. Peace, sir. Good even to you, friend. And to you, good sir, and to you all. I pray you, if love or gold can in this desert place of our entertainment, bring us to a place where we may rest ourselves and feed. Here is a young maid who travel much oppressed and faints for succour.
Fair sir, I pity her and wish for her sake more than for my own that my fortunes were able to relieve her. But I am a shepherd to another man, and do not share the peace of my praise. I want be childish to wretch finding his way to heaven by doing deeds of hospitality. Besides, his coats, his flocks, and bounds of feed are on sale at the sheepcote now. By reason of his absence, there is nothing that he will feed on, but what is, come see, and in my voice most welcome shall it be.
Well, what is he that shall buy his flock and pasture?
That young swain which is on here for so while, that doesn't care to buy anything.
I pray you, if it be with honesty, buy thou the cottage pasture and the flock, and you shall have to pay for it of us.
We'll mend thy wages. I like it here, and would willingly waste my time in it.
Assuredly, the thing is to be sold. Go with me, and if you like upon report, the soil, the profits, and this kind of life, I will be a very faithful fee to be, and buy it with your gold right suddenly.
I prithee more.
It will make you melancholy, Monsieur Jacques.
I thank it. More, I prithee more. I can suck melancholy out of a song as a weasel sucks eggs.
My voice is rapping. I know I cannot please you.
I do not desire you to please me. I do desire you to sing. Come, more, another stanzo. Call you them stanzos?
What you will, Monsieur Jacques.
Nay, I care not for their names. They owe me nothing. Will you sing?
Well, I'll end the song. Sirs, covered wide, the Duke will drink under this tree. He's been all this day to look you.
And I have been all this day to avoid him. He is too disputable. suitable for my company. I think of as many matters as he, but I give heaven thanks, and make no boast of them. Come, warble, come!
Who does ambition shun, and loves to lie in the sun, seeking the fruit he eats, and pleased with what he gets? Come hither, come hither, come hither. Here shall you see but winter and
I'll give you a verse to this note that I made yesterday in despite of my invention.
and I'll sing it.
Thus it goes. If it do come to pass that any man turn ass, leaving his wealth and ease, a stubborn will to please, doctor me, doctor me, doctor me, here shall he see gross fools as he, if he will come to me.
What's that, Doctor Me?
'Tis a Greek invocation to call fools into a circle. I'll go sleep if I can. If I cannot, I'll rail against all the firstborn of Egypt.
And I'll go seek the Duke. His banquet is prepared.
Dear mistress, I can go no further. Oh, I die for food. Here lie I down and measure out my grave. Farewell, kind mistress.
Why, how now, Adam, no greater heart in thee? Live a little, comfort a little, cheer thyself a little. If anything living is on food for it, I will either be food for it or bring it for food to thee. But come, be comfortable for my sake. Hold death at arm's reach a while longer, and I will be with thee presently. And if I bring thee not something to eat, then I will give thee leave to die. But if thou diest before my return, then thou art a mocker of my labour. Well said. Thou lookest cheerly, and I'll be with thee quickly. But thou liest in the deep bed. Come, I'll bear thee to some shelter, and thou shalt not die for lack of a dinner, if there live anything in this forest. Cheerly, good Adam.
I think he be transformed into a beast, for I can nowhere find him like a man.
My lord, he is but even now gone hence. Here was he merry, hearing of a song.
If he, compacted jars, grow musical, we shall have shortly discord in the spheres. Go, seek him. Tell him I would speak with him.
He saves my lady by his own approach.
Why, how now, monsieur? What a life is this that your poor friends must woo your company? What? You look merrily?
A fool. A fool. I met a fool in the forest. A motley fool. A miserable world. As I do live by food, I met a fool who laid him down and basked him in the sun and railed on Lady Fortune in good terms. In good set terms, and yet a motley fool. Good morrow, fool, quoth I. No, sir, quoth he. Call me not fool till heaven hath sent me fortune. And then he drew a dial from his poke, and looking on it with lackluster eyes, said, very wisely, it is 10 o'clock. Thus we may see, quoth he, how the world wags. 'Tis but an hour ago since it was 9, and after 1 hour more 'twill be 11. And so from hour to hour we ripe, and hour to hour we rot and rot, and thereby hangs a tale. When I did hear the motley fool thus moral on the time, my lungs began to crow like a shanty clear that fools should be so deep contemplative. And I did laugh, sans intermission, an hour by his dial. O noble fool, a worthy fool, motley's the only wear.
What fool is this?
A worthy fool, one that hath been a courtier, and says that if ladies be but young and fair, they have the gift to know it. And in his brain, which is as dry as the remainder biscuit after a voyage, he hath strange places crammed with observation, the which he vents in mangled forms. Oh, that I were a fool. I am ambitious for a motley coat.
Thou shalt have one.
It is my only suit, provided that you weed your better judgment of all opinion that grows rank in them. I must have liberty withal, as large a charter as the wind to blow on whom I please, for so fools have. And they that are most galled with my folly, they most must laugh. And why, sir, must they so? The why is plain as way to parish church. He that a fool doth very wisely hit, doth very foolishly, though he smart, not to seem senseless of the bog. If not, the wise man's folly is anatomized even by the squandering glances of the fool. Invest me in my motley, give me leave to speak my mind, and I will through and through cleanse the foul body of the infected world. If they will patiently receive my medicine.
Fie on thee. I can tell what thou wouldst do.
What for a counter would I do but good?
Most mischievous foul sin in chiding sin. Thou thyself hast been a libertine, as sensual as the brutish thing itself, and all the embossed sores and headed evils that thou with license of free foot hast caught, wouldst thou disgorge into the general world.
Why, who cries out on pride that can there in taxily private party? Doth it not flow as hugely as the sea, till that the weary very means do ebb? What woman in the city do I name when I say that the city woman bears the cost of princes on unworthy shoulders? Who can come in and say that I mean her, when such a one as she, such is her neighbour? Or what is he of basest function that says that his bravery is not my cost, thinking that I mean him, but therein suits his folly to the metal of my speech? There then. How then? What then? Let me see wherein my tongue hath wronged him. If it do him right, then he hath wronged himself. If he be free, why then my taxing like a wild goose flies, unclaimed of any man. But who comes here?
Forbear and eat no more!
Why, I have eaten none yet.
Nor shall not to necessity be served.
Of what kind should this cock come of?
Art thou thus boldened, ma'am, by thy distress? Or else a rude despiser of good manners? In civility thou seemst so empty.
You touched my vein at first. The thorny point of bare distress had taken from me the show of smooth civility. Yet, I am inland bred and know some nurture, so... Forbear, I say! He shall die that touches any of this fruit.
If you will not be answered with reason, I must die.
What would you have? Gentleness shall force more than your force move us to gentleness.
I always die for food, let me have it.
Sit down and feed, and welcome to our table.
Speak you so gently. Pardon me, I pray you. I thought everything had been savage here, and so I put on the countenance of stern commandment. But whatever you are in this desert inaccessible, under the shade of melancholy boughs, lose and neglect the creeping hours of time, if ever you have looked on better days, if ever been where the bells have knelled to church, never sat at a good man's feast, or from your eyelids wiped a tear, know what 'tis to pity and be pitied, then let gentleness my strong enforcement be, in which I hope I blush and hide my sword.
True is it that we have seen better days, and have with holy bell been knolled to church, and sat at good men's feasts, and wiped our eyes with drops that sacred pity hath engendered. And therefore sit you down in gentleness, and take upon command what help we have that to your wanting may be ministered.
Well, forbear your food a while longer, whilst, like a doe, I must go find my fawn and give it food. There is an old man who behind me in many weary steps looked in pure love, till he be first sufficed, oppressed with 2 weak evils, age and hunger. I will not touch a bit.
Go find him out, and we will nothing waste till you return.
I thank you. Be blessed for your good comfort.
Thou seest we are not all alone, unhappy. This wide and universal theatre presents more woeful pageants than the scene wherein we play.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snails unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. And then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the park, jealous in honour, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly with good cape on line, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances. And so he plays his part. The 6th age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank, and his big, manly voice turning once again towards childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all that ends this strange, eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Welcome! Set down your venerable burden and let him feed.
I thank you most for him.
So had you leave? I scarce can speak to thank you for myself.
Oh, welcome. Fall to. I will not trouble you as yet to question you about your fortunes. Give us some music and good ambience. Sing. If that you were, the good Sir Rowland's daughter, as you have whispered faithfully you were, and as mine eyes doth his effigies witness most truly lived and living in your face, be truly welcome hither. I am the Duke that loved your father. The residue of your fortune goes to my cave and tell me. Good old man, thou art right welcome as thy master is, supported by the arm. Give me your hand. Let me all your fortunes understand.
Hang there my verse in witness of my love, and thy thrice crowned queen of night survey with thy chaste eye from the heavenly spheres above thy huntress name that my full life doth sway. Oh, Rosalind, these trees shall be my books, and on their barks my full foul character. That every eye which in this forest looks shall see thy virtue witnessed everywhere. Run, run, Orlando, carve on every tree. The fair, the chaste, and unexpressive she.
And how like you this shepherd's life, Master Touchstone?
Truly, shepherd, in respect of itself, it is a good life. But in respect of its shepherd's life, it is naught. In respect that it's solitary, I like it very well. But in respect that it's private, it's a very vile life. In respect that is in the fields, it pleaseth me well. But in the respect that is not in the court, it is tedious. Look you, it fits my humour well. As there is no more plenty in it, it goes much against my stomach. Has any philosophy in you, shepherd?
Not but that I know that the more that one sickens, the worse to ease he is, and that he that wants money, means, and content is without three good friends, that the property of water is to wet and fire is to burn, that good pasture makes fat sheep, and that the great cause of the night is the lack of sun, and that he that hath learnt no wit by nature nor art may complain of good breeding or comes of a very dull kindred.
Such a one is a natural philosopher. Wast thou ever in the court, shepherd?
No, truly.
Then thou art damned.
Nay, I hope.
No, truly. Then thou art damned like a ill-roasted egg, all on one side.
Your reason?
Why, if thou never wast at court, then I never saw his good manners. If I never saw his good manners, then thy manners must be wicked. Wickedness is sin, sin is damnation. Thou art in a parlock state, shepherd.
Not a whit, Touchstone. Those are the good manners at the court are most ridiculous in the country, as those of the country are most mockable at court. You told me you salute, not at court, but you kiss your hands. That courtesy would be uncleanly if courtiers were shepherds.
Instance! Briefly! Come! Instance!
Why? We're still handling our ewes, and their fells, you know, are greasy.
Why? Do not your courtiers' hands sweat? Isn't the grease of a mutton the same as the sweat of a man? Shallow, shallow. A better instance, shepherd!
Yeah, besides, our hands are hard.
Your lips will fill the sooner. Shallow again. A more sounder instance.
And they are often tarred over with the surgery of our sheep. And would you have us kiss tar? The courtier's hands are perfumed with civet.
No shallow, man. Thou worms meat, in respect of a good piece of flesh indeed. Learn of the wise, and repent. Civet is of a baser birth than tar, very uncleanly fox of a cat. Mend your instance, shepherd!
You have too courtly a wit from me, I'll rest.
Thou wilt rest damned? God help thee, shallow man. God, make incision in in thee. Thou art raw.
Sir, I am a true labourer. I earn what I eat, get what I wear. Oh, no man hates, glad of other men's good, content with my harm, and the greatest of my pride is to see my ewes graze and my lambs suck.
That is another simple sin in you. To bring the ewes and the rams together, to offer to get your living by the copulation of cattle, to be bored, to a bellwether, to betray a she-lamb of a 12-month, to a crooked, painted, old, cock-holdly ram, as of all reasonable match. If thou best not down for this shepherd, the devil himself will have no shepherds. I cannot see how you should escape.
Oh, here comes young Master Ganymede, my new mistress's brother.
From the east to the western end, no jewel is like Rosalind. Her worth being mounted on the wind, through all the world bears Rosalind. All the pictures fairest lined are but black to Rosalind. Let no fair be kept in mind, but the fair of Rosaline.
Oh, that is so 8 years to go. Dinners and suppers, sleeping as accepted. It is right but one's man to market.
Out, fool.
For a taste. If a heart do lack a hind, let him seek out Rosaline. The cat will after kind, so be sure will Rosaline. Winter garments must be lined, so be slender, Rosaline. They that weep must sheath and bind, then to cut with Rosaline. The sweetest nut hath the sourest rind. Such a nut is Rosaline. The sweetest rose that he will find love's prick and Rosaline. This is a very false gallop of verses. Why do you infect yourself with them?
Peace, you dull fool! I found them on a tree.
Truly, a tree yields bad fruit.
Well, I will grap it with you, and then I shall grap it with a meddler. Then you'll be the earliest fruit of the country, for you'll be rotten A, be half ripe. That's the right virtue of a meddler.
I have heard, whether wisely or no, let the forest judge.
Peace! Here comes my sister reading, stand aside.
Why should this a desert be? For it is unpeopled? No. Tongues shall hang on every tree that shall civil saying show. Some, how brief the life of man runs his errant pilgrimage. That's the stretching of a span buckles in his summer's age. Some the violated vows twixt the souls of friend and friend. Not upon the clearest vows, or at every sentence end, will I, Rosalinda, write, teaching all that read to know the quintessence of every sprite. Heaven would in little show, therefore heaven nature charged, that my body should be filled with all graces wide enlarged. Nature presently distilled, Helen's cheek, but not her heart, Cleopatra's majesty, Atalanta's better part, sad Lucretia's modesty, thus Rosalind of many parts. By heavenly synod was devised of many faces, eyes, and hearts, to have the touchest, dearest prize. Heaven that she these gifts should have, and I to live and die her slave.
O most gentle pulpiter, what tedious homily of love have you wearied your parishioners withal, and never cried, have patience, good people.
How now? Back, friends. Shepherds, go off a little. Go with her, Sarah.
Come, shepherd, let's make an honourable retreat, but not with bag and baggage, but with scrip and scrippage.
Did thou hear these verses?
Oh yes, I heard them all, and many more, for some of them have in them more feet than the verses would bear.
That's no matter. The feet might bear the verses.
Aye, but the feet were lame, could not bear themselves without the verse, and so stood lamely in the verse.
But didst thou hear without wondering how their name came to be hanged and carved upon trees?
I was 7 of the 9 days out of wandering before you came. But look what I found on a palm tree. I was never so berhymed as Pythagoras' time, but I was an Irish rat, which I can hardly remember.
True, who has done this?
Is it a man.
With a chain that you once wore about her neck. Oh, changing colour.
I prithee who?
Oh, Lord, it is a hard matter for friends to meet, but mountains may be moved by earthquakes, and so encounter.
Nay, but who is it?
Is it possible?
I prithee with most petitionary vehemence, tell me who it is.
Ah, wonderful, the most wonderful, and out of all who thrift.
Goodness, my complexion! Dost thou think, though I am caprisioned like a man, that I have doublet and hose in my disposition? 1 inch of delay more is a south sea of discovery. I prithee tell me who it is quickly, and speak apace. I would thou could stammer that thou might pour this concealed man out of thy mouth, like wine out of a narrow-mouthed bottle, either too much once or not at all. I prithee, take the cork out of thy mouth, that I may drink thy tidings.
So you may put a man in your belly.
Is he of God's making? What manner of a man? Is his head worth a hat, or his chin worth a beard?
Nay, he hath but a little beard.
God will send more if we be thankful. Oh, but I would stay the growth of his beard if I deny me not the knowledge of his chin.
Oh, it is Orlando that tripped up the heels of the wrestler and your heart, both in an instant.
Nay, but the devil take mocking. Speak, sad brow and true maid.
A faith, cuz, 'tis she.
Orlando.
Well,
Alas the day! Well, what should I do with my doublet and hose? What did she when thou saw her? What said she? How looked she? Where went she? What makes her here? How parted she with thee? And when will thou see her again? Answer me in one word.
You must borrow me gargantuous mouth first. Too large a word for a mouth of this age's size to say. To say I am known to these particulars is to more than to answer in a catechism.
But does she know that I am in the forest and in man's apparel? Oh, look, she is freshly as she did the day she wrestled.
It is as easy to count atomies as it is to resolve the propositions of a lover. But take a taste of me finding her and relish it in good observance. I found her under a tree, like a dropped acorn.
Oh, it may well be called Job's tree when it drops forth such fruit.
Good madam, give me audience.
Proceed.
There lay she, stretched out like a wounded knight.
Oh, though it is a pity to see such a sight, it well becomes the ground.
Cry hollow to thy tongue, I prithee, covets unseasonably. She was furnished like a hunter.
Oh, ominous! She comes to kill my heart.
I would sing my song without them. Thou bringest me out of tune.
Do you not know I am a woman? When I think I must speak. Sweet say on.
No, you bring me out.
Soft. Comes she not here? 'Tis she! Stick by it, let her!
I thank thee for thy company, but, good faith, I had as lief have been myself alone.
And so had I, yet, for fashion's sake, I thank you too for your society.
God be with you. Let's meet as little as we can.
I do desire we may be better strangers.
I pray you, mar no more trees with writing love songs in their barks.
I pray you, mar no more reading of my verses ill-favouredly.
Rosalind is your love's name.
Yes, just.
I do not like her name.
Well, there was no thinking of you when she was christened.
What stature is she of?
Just as high as my heart.
Oh, you are full of pretty answers. Have you not been acquainted with goldsmiths' wives and conned them out of rings?
Not so, but I answer you right painted cloth from whence you have studied your questions.
You have a nimble wit. I think 'twas made of Atalanta's heels. Will you sit with me, and we two shall rail against our mistress, the world, and all our misery?
I will try no proof in the world but myself, against whom I know most faults.
The worst fault you have is to be in love.
'Tis a fault I would not change for your best virtue. I'm weary of you.
By my troth, I was seeking for a fool when I found you.
He is drowned in the brook. Look but in and you shall see him.
There I shall see mine own figure.
Which I take to be either a fool or a cipher.
I'll tarry with you no longer. Farewell, good lady love.
Oh, I am glad of your departure. Adieu, Monsieur Melancholy.
I I will speak with her, like a saucy lackey. So that's how we play the name with her. Do you hear, Forrester?
Very well, what would you?
I pray you, what is the clock?
You should ask what time of day it is. There is no clock in the forest.
Ah, then there is no true lover in the forest. Else sighing every minute and groaning every hour would detect the lazy foot of time as well as a clock.
And how about the swift foot of time? Had that not been as proper?
By no means, madam. Time travels in diverse paces with diverse persons. I will tell you who time ambles withal, who time trots withal, who time gallops withal, and who he stands still withal.
I prithee, who doth he trot withal?
Marry, he trots hard with the young maid between the contract of her marriage and the day it is solemnized. If the interim be but a 7 night, time's pace is so hard it fills the length of 7 year.
Who ambles time withal?
With a priest that lacks Latin and a rich man that hath not the gout. For the one sleeps easily because he cannot study, and the other lives merrily because he feels no pain. The one lacking the burden of lean and wasteful learning, the other knowing not the burden of heavy tedious penury. These time ambles withal.
Who gallops time withal?
With the thief to the gallows. For though he go as soft as foot can fall, he finds himself too soon there.
Who stays it still withal?
With lawyers in the vacation, for they sleep between term and term and perceive not our time moves.
Where dwell you, pretty youth?
With this shepherdess, my sister, here in the skirts of the forest, like fringe upon a petticoat.
Are you native of this place?
As the coney used to dwell where she is kindled.
You have somewhat a finer accent than you can find in such a removed dwelling.
I've been told so of many, but indeed an old religious uncle of mine taught me to speak. One who was in his youth an inland man, who knew courtship too well, for there he fell in love. I have heard him speak many lectures against it, and I thank God that I am not a woman. To be taxed with so many giddy offences, he hath generally charged their whole sex with them.
Well, do you remember any of the principal evils he laid to the charge of women?
There were none of them principal. They were all the same as halfpence are, each fault seeming monstrous till his fellow fault came to match it.
I prithee, recount some of them.
No, I will not cast away my physic on those that are sick. There is a soul haunts this forest who abuses our young plants with carving Rosalind on their boughs. Hangs odes upon hawthorns and elegies on brambles, all forsooth deifying the name Rosalind. If I could meet that fancy monger, I would give them good counsel, for they seem to have the quotidian of love upon them.
I am that she that is so love-shaken. I pray, tell me your remedy.
You have none of mine uncle's marks upon you. He taught me to know a woman in love, of which cage of rushes I am sure you are not prisoner.
Or what were his marks?
Well, a lean cheek, which you have not. A blue eye and sunken, which you have not. An unquestionable spirit, which you have not. A beard neglect, which you have not, but I will pardon you for that. But your clothes should be ungartered, your bonnet unbounded, your sleeve unbuttoned, and your shoe untied, and everything about you displaying a careless desolation. But you are no such woman. You are rather point device in your accoutrements, as loving yourself and seeming the lover of any other.
I pray thee, fair youth, make me believe I love.
Me believe it? You may assume it cannot you love believe it, which I warrant she is apter to do than to confess she does. That is a point to which women give the lie to their consciences. But in good sooth, are you she that hangs the verses on the trees in which Rosalind is so admired?
By the white hand of Rosalind, I am that she, that unfortunate she.
But are you so in love as your rhymes speak?
Neither rhyme nor reason could say as such.
Love is but a madness, and I say deserves a dark house of whip as well as madmen do. The reason it is not so punished and cured is that the lunacy is so ordinary that the whippers themselves are in love. Yet, I profess curing it by counsel.
Or did you ever cure me so?
Yes, one, and in this manner. He was to imagine me his mistress, his love, and I set him every day to woo me, at which time would I, being but a moonish youth, grieve, be effeminate, changeable, longing and liking, proud, fantastical, apish, shallow, inconsistent, full of tears, full of smiles, for every passion something and for no passion truly anything, as men and women are but cattle of his colour, would now like him, now loathe him, now entertain him, then forswear him, now weep for him, then spit at him. That I drave him from his mad humour of love to a living humour of madness, which was to forswear the full steam of the world and live in a nook merely monastic. And thus I cured him. And this way will I bring upon me to wash your liver as clean as a sound sheep's heart. There be not one spot of love in it.
I would not be cured, good youth.
I would cure you, if you would but call me Rosalind, and come every day to my coach and woo me.
By the faith of my love, I will. Tell me where.
Go with me to it, and I will show you. And by the way, you can tell me where in the forest you live. Will you go?
With all my heart, good youth.
Nay, you must call me Rosalind. Come, sister, will you go?
Come a pace, good Audrey! I will fetch up your goods, Audrey. How, Audrey? Am I the man yet? Does my simple features content you?
Your features? Lord Warranters, what features?
I am here with thee and thy goods, as the most capricious poet, honest Ovid, was among the gods.
Oh, knowledge ill-inhabited, worse than Jove in a thatched house.
When a man's verses cannot be understood, nor man's good wit, second with a forward-child understanding, strikes a man more dead than a great reckoning in a little room. I would the gods made thee poetical.
I don't know what poetical means. Is it honest in deed and word? Oh, is it a true thing?
No, truly, for the truest poetry is the most feigning. And what lovers swear in poetry may be said as lovers do feign.
Do you wish then that the gods had made me poetical?
I do, truly. If thou swearest to me, thou art honest. Now, if thou wert a poet, I might have some hope thou didst feign.
Would you not have me honest?
No, truly, unless thou wert half favoured. But honesty coupled to beauty is to have honey as sauce to sugar.
A material fool.
Well, I'm not fair, and therefore I pray the gods make me honest.
Truly, to cast away honesty upon a foul slut would be to put good meat into unclean dish.
I'm not a slut. So I do thank the gods I'm foul.
Oh, what praise be the good for thy foulness? Sluttiness may come hereafter. But, be as it may be, I will marry thee, and to that end I have been Rousseau of the Martex, the vicar of the next village, who have promised to meet me here, in this place of the forest, and to couple us.
I would fain see this meeting.
Well, the gods give us joy.
Amen. A man may, if you are of a fearful heart, stagger in this attempt. There is no assembly but the wood, no temple but horned beasts. But why so? Courage, as horns are odious, they are necessary. It is said, many a man knows no end of his own goods. Right, many a man has good horns and knows no end of them. It is the dowry of his own wife. It is none of his own getting. Horns? Even so. Poor men alone? No, no. The noblest deer hath them as huge as the rascal. Is the single man therefore blessed? No! As a walled town is more worthy than a village, and by how much is a forehead more honourable than the bare brow of a bachelor? And by how much defence is better than no skill? And by so much as a horn, more precious than to want? Here comes Sir Oliver. Sir Oliver! Oh, well met! Will you scratch us here under this tree, or shall we go use your chapel?
Is the nun here to give the one?
I will not take on the gift of any man!
Truly, she must be given, or the marriage is not lawful.
Proceed, proceed. I'll give her.
Oh, good evening, Master, what ye called. What you, sir?
You are very well met. What ailed you for your last company? I am very pleased to meet you. Even a toy in hand here, sir. Nay, pray be covered.
Will you be married, Motley?
As the ox hath his bow, sir, the horse his curb, the falcon her bells, as man has desires, as pigeons bill, so wedlock would be nibbling.
And will you, being a man of your breeding, be married under a bush, like a beggar? Get you to church, and have a good priest that can tell you of marriages. This fellow will but join you together as they join wainscot, and then one of you will prove a shrunk panel, and like green timber, warp.
I am not in the mind that if I were, I'd be better to be married of him than another. For he will not marry me well, for he is not well married. Therefore, it'd be a good excuse to hereafter leave my wife.
Go thou with me, and let me counsel thee.
Come, sweet Audrey, we must be married. We must live in Baldry. And Master Oliver, not old brave Oliver, or sweet Oliver. Wind away! Be gone, I say! I will not be willing with thee! Come, Audrey!
Tis no matter. Ne'er a fantastical name shall flout me of my calling.
Never talk to me, I will weep. Do, I prithee, and yet have the grace to consider that tears do not become a man.
But have I not cause to weep?
As good a cause as one would desire, therefore weep.
Her very hair is of a dissembling colour.
Something browner than Judas is married. Her kisses are Judas's own children.
In faith, the hair is of a good colour.
An excellent colour. Your chestnut was ever the only colour.
And her kiss is as full of sanctity as the touch of holy bread.
She had bought a cast pair of Diana's lips, and none of Winter's sisterhood kisses not more religiously. The very ice of chastity is in them.
But why did she swear she would come this morning and comes not?
Nay, certainly there is no truth in her.
Do you think so?
Yes. I think she's not a pick-purse or a horse stealer. But for her verity and love, I think she is concave as a covered goblet or a worm-eaten nut.
Not true love.
Yes, when she is in, but I think she is not in.
You heard her swear downright she was.
Was is not is. Besides, the oath of a lover is no stronger than the word of a tapster. They are both the confirmer of false reckonings. You know she attends in the forest on the Duke your father.
I met with the Duke yesterday and had much question with him. He asked me of what parentage I was. I said, as good as he. He laughed and let me go. Oh, but why talk we of fathers when there is such a lady as Orlando?
Oh, that is a brave lady who says brave words, writes brave verses, swears brave oaths, and breaks them bravely. Athwart the heart of her lover, like a puny tilter, who spurs his horse on one side, or breaks his staff like a noble goose. But all's brave that youth mounts and folly guides. Who comes here?
Mistress and master, you've often inquired after the shepherd you saw sitting by me on the turf, praising the proud disdainful shepherdess that was his mistress.
Well, what of it?
If you will see a pageant truly played between the pale complexion of true love and the red glow of scorn and proud disdain, go hence a little, and I shall conduct you, if you will mark it.
Oh, come, let us remove. The sight of lovers feedeth those in love. Bring us to the sight, and you will say, I'll prove a busy actor in their play.
Sweet Phoebe, do not scorn me, do not. Say thou loves me not, but say not so in bitterness. The common executioner, whose heart the accustomed sight of death makes hard, falls not the axe upon the humble neck, but first begs pardon. Will you sterner be than he that lives or dies by bloody drops?
I will not be thy executioner. I fly thee, for I would not injure thee.
Thou tell'st me there is murder in mine eye.
'Tis pretty sure and very probable that eyes, that are frailest and softest things who shall their counterfeits on atomies, should be called tyrants, butchers, murderers. Now Now I do frown on thee with all my heart, and if mine eyes can wound, let them kill thee. Why now fall down? Yourselves can stop. Oh, for shame, to lie to say mine eyes are murderers. Show me the wound my eye hath made in thee. Scratch thee with a pin, and there remains some scar of it. Lean upon a rush, the cicatrice and capable impression of thy palm some moment keeps. But mine eyes, which I have darted at thee, hurt thee not. Though I am sure there is no hurt in eyes that can do hurt.
Oh dear If ever, as that ever may be near, you meted some fresh cheek for power of fancy, then you shall know the wounds invisible that love's keen arrows make.
But till that time, come not thou near me. Afflict me with thy mocks, pity me not. As till that time, I shall not pity thee.
And why, I pray you? Who might be your mother that you insult, exalt, and all at once over the wretched? What, though you have no beauty? As by my faith, I see no more in you than without candle may go dark to bed. Must you be therefore proud and pitiless? Why, what means this? Why do you look on me? I see no more in you than in the ordinary of nature's sail work. Oh, it's my little life. I think she means to tangle my eyes too. No, faith, proud mistress, hope not after it. 'Tis not your inky brows, your black silk hair, your bugle eyeballs, your cheek of cream that can entertain my spirits to your worship. Oh, and you, foolish shepherd, wherefore do you follow her? Like foggy south puffing with wind and rain. You are 1,000 times a proper man as she a woman. 'Tis such fools as you that makes the world full of ill-favoured children. It is not her glass, but you that flatters her. And out of you, she sees herself more proper than any of her lineaments can show her. But, mistress, know yourself. Down on your knees and thank heaven, fasting for a good man's love. For, I must tell you friendly in your ear, sell when you can. You are not for all markets. Mercy, love him. Take his offer. Foul is most foul, being foul to be a scoffer. So take her to thee, shepherd. Very well.
Sweet youth, I pray you chide the ear together. I'd rather hear you chide than this man woo.
He'll fall in love with your foulness, and she'll fall in love with my anger. If it be so, as soon as she answers you with frowning looks, I'll source her with bitter words. But why look you so upon me?
For no ill will I bear you.
I pray you, do not fall in love with me. For I am falser than vows made in wine. Besides, I like you not. If you know my house is at the tuft of olives here hard by, will you go, sister? Shepherd, ply her hard. Come, sister, and shepherdess, look on him better, that all the world can see, none are so abused in sight as he. Come to our flock.
Dear shepherd, now I find my sore of might, whoever loved that loved not at first sight.
Sweet Phoebe.
Ah, Sylvius,
Sweet Phoebe, pity me.
I am sorry for thee, gentle Sylvius.
Wherever sorrow is, relief would be. But if you do sorrow my grief and love, then by giving love, both your sorrow and my grief would be external.
Thou hast my love, is that not neighbourly?
I would have you.
Oh, why, that were covetousness. Sylvius, the chime was that I hated thee. And yet it is not that I bear thee love, but since that thou canst talk of love so well, thy company which erst was irksome to me, I will endure. And I'll employ thee too, but do not look for further recompense than thine own gladness that thou art employed.
So holy and so perfect is my love, and I am such a poverty of grace that I shall think it a most plenteous crop to reap the broken ears after the man main harvest reaps. Loose now and then a scattered smile, and that I'll live upon.
Knowest now the youth that spoke to me a while?
Not well, but I have met him oft. He has bought the cottage the old Carlet once was master of.
Think not I love him, though I ask of him. 'Tis a peevish boy, yet he talks well. But what care I for words, yet words do well, and when he speaks them, pleases those that hear. It is a pretty youth, not very pretty, but sure, he's proud. His pride becomes him. He'll make a proper man. The best thing in him is his complexion, and faster than his tongue did make offence, his eyes did heal it up. He's not very tall, yet for his age he's tall. His leg is but so, and yet 'tis well. There was a pretty redness in his lip, a little riper and more lusty red than that mixed in his cheek. It was just the difference between the constant red and the mingled damask. There be some women, Sylvius, had they marked him in parcels as I did, would have gone near to fall in love with him, but for my part, I love him not, nor hate him not. And yet, I have more cause to hate him than to love him. For what did he say to chide at me? He said mine eyes were black and my hair black, and now I am remembered scorned at me. I marvel why I answered not again. But that's all one. Admittance is no quittance. I'll write him a very taunting letter, and thou shalt bear it, wilt thou, Sylvius?
See me with all my heart.
I will be bitter and passing short. The matter's in my head and in my heart. Go with me, Sylvius.
I prithee, pretty youth, let me be better acquainted with thee.
They say you are a melancholy fellow.
I am so. I do love it better than laughing.
Those that are in the extremity of either are abominable fellows, and betray themselves at every modern censure worse than drunkards.
Why, 'tis good to be sad and say nothing.
Why then 'tis good to be a post.
I have neither the scholar's melancholy, which is emulation, nor the musician's, which is fantastical, nor the courtier's, which is proud, nor the soldier's, which is ambitious, nor the lawyer's, which is politic, nor the lady's, which is nice, nor the lover's, which is all these. But it is a melancholy of mine own, compounded of many simples, extracted from many objects, and indeed the sundry contemplation of my travels, in which my often rumination wraps me in a most humorous sadness.
A traveller? By my faith, you have great reason to be sad. I fear you have sold your own man glance to see other men's. To see much have nothing is to have rich eyes and poor hands.
Yes, I have gained my experience.
And your experience makes you sad. I'd rather have a fool to make me merry than experience to make me sad, and to travel for it too.
Good day and happiness, dear Rosalind.
Nay, then, God be with you. You talk in blank verse.
Farewell, Monsieur Traveller. Look you list and wear strange suits. Disable all the benefits of your country. Be out of love with your nativity, and almost chide God for making you the countenance you are, or I will scarce think you have swum in a gondola. Well, how now, Orlando? Where have you been all the while? You, a lover. And you serve me such another trick, never come in my sight more.
I come within an hour of my promise.
Break an hour's promise in love. He that divides a minute into 1,000 parts, and breaks but a part of 1,000 parts of a minute in the affairs of love, may be said of him that Cupid hath clapped him on the shoulder, but I warrant him heart whole.
Pardon me, dear Rosalind.
Nay, you be so tardy, come no more in my sight. I would as lief be wooed of a snail.
Of a snail?
Aye, of a snail. For though he comes slowly, he brings his house on his head. Better jointure, I think, than you make a woman. Besides, he brings his destiny with him.
And what is that?
Why, horns. Which such as you are beholden to your wives for, but he comes armed with his prophecy, and so prevents the slander of his wife.
Virtue is no horn maker, and my Rosalind is virtuous.
And I am your Rosalind!
It pleases him to call you so, as he has the Rosalind of a better lip than you.
Come, woo me. Woo me, for now I'm in holiday humor.
humour and like enough to consent. What would you say to me now if I were your very, very Rosalind?
I would kiss thee before I spoke.
Nay! You were better to speak first, and then when gravel for lack of matter take occasion to kiss. Whew. Very good orators, when they're out, they will spit, and lovers lacking, God warn us, matter, the cleanliest shift is to kiss.
And how if the kiss be denied?
Well, then she puts you to entreaty, and there begins a new matter.
Who can be out of matter at being before their beloved mistress?
Marry should you, if I were your mistress, as I would think my honesty ranker than my wit.
What, out of my suit?
Not out of your apparel, and yet out of your suit. Am not I your Rosalind?
I take some pleasure to say you are, because I'd be thinking of her.
Well, in her person, I say, I will not have you.
Well, then, in mine own person, I say, I die.
Oh no, Faith, die by attorney. The world is almost 6,000 years old. In all that time, there was not any man died in a love cause. If Troilus had his brains dashed out with the Grecian club, well, he did what he could to die before. And that was the very pattern of love. Leander, he would have lived many a fair year, though hero had turned none, had it not been for one hot midsummer night. For good youth, he went forth to wash him in the Hellespont, but was taken with the cramp and drowned. And the coroners of that age found it hero of Sestos. These are all lies. If men have died from time to time, and worms have eaten them, but not for love.
I would not have my right Rosalind of this mind, for I swear her frown might kill me.
By this hand it would not kill a fly. But come, now I will be your Rosalind in a more coming on disposition. Ask what thou will, I will grant it.
Then love me, Rosalind.
So will I. Fridays and Saturdays and all.
Would thou have me?
Aye, and 20 such.
What sayest thou?
Well, are you not good?
I should hope so.
Can one desire too much of a good thing? Come, sister, you shall be the priest and marry us. Give me your hand, Orlando. What say you, sister?
I pray thee marry us.
I cannot say the words. You must begin. Will you, Orlando?
I'll go to. Will you, Orlando, have to wear this one?
I will when?
Not as soon as she can marry us.
Then you must say, I take you, Rosalind, for wife.
I take you, Rosalind, for
I
wife.
might ask for your permission, but I do take the Orlando for wife. Aha! Indeed, as a maid goes before the priest, a woman's thoughts runs before her actions.
So do all thoughts, they are winged.
Now, tell me how long you would have her after you possessed her.
Forever and a day.
You'd say a day without the ever. Oh no, Orlando, they are April when they woo, December when they wed. Maids are May when they are maids, but the sky changes when they are wives. I will be more jealous of thee than a Banbury cock pigeon over his hen, more clamorous than a parrot against rain, more giddy than a monkey, more newfangled than an ape. I will weep like Diana at the fountain, and will do so when thou art inclined to be merry. I will laugh like a hyena, and will do so when thou art inclined to sleep.
Yes, but will my Rosalind do so?
By my life, she will do as I do.
Yes, but my Rosalind is wise.
Or else you would not have the wit to do such a thing. Yet the wiser, the waywarder. Make the doors upon a woman's wit, 'twill out of the casement. Stop that, 'twill out of the keyhole. Stop that, 'twill fly with the smoke out the chimney.
A man with a wife of such wit may say, wit with a wilt.
Nay, he might keep that check when he finds his wife's wit go into his neighbour's bed.
And what wit could wit have to excuse that?
Marry to say she came to seek you there. Take a woman without her answer is to take her without her tongue. Oh, the woman that cannot make her fault her husband's occasion. Never let her raise the children, for she will breed them like a fool.
For these 2 hours, Rosalind, I will leave thee.
Alas! I cannot lack thee 2 hours.
I must attend the Duke at dinner. By 2 o'clock I will be with thee again.
Aye, go your ways. Go your ways. I knew what you would prove. My friends told me as much, and I thought no less. But as one cast away, and so come death. 2 o'clock is your hour?
Aye, sweet Rosalind.
By all pretty oaths that are not dangerous, if you break 1 jot of your promise, or come 1 minute behind your hour, I will think you the most pathetical break promise, the most hollow lover, the most unworthy of her you call Rosalind, that may be chosen of the gross band of the unfaithful. Therefore, beware my censure, and keep your promise.
With no less religion than if
Thou wert indeed my Rosalind. So, adieu.
Well, time is the old justice that examines all such offenders. And let time try. Adieu.
You have simply misused our sex in your love crate. We must have your doublet and hose clapped over your head and show the world what the bird hath done to her own nest.
Oh, cuz, my pretty little cuz, if thou didst not know how many fathoms deep I am in love. But it cannot be sounded. My affection hath no bottom, like the Bay of Portugal.
Or rather bottomless, that as fast as you pour affection in, it runs out.
No. Let that bastard of Venus, begot of thought and conceived of madness, let him be the judge of how deep I am in love. I tell thee, Aliena, I cannot be without the sight of Orlando. I will go find a shadow and sigh till she comes.
And I'll sleep.
How say you now? It is not past 2, and here much Orlando.
I warrant you, with pure love and a troubled brain, she hath ta'en her bow and arrows and gone forth to sleep. Look who comes here.
Ah, friend youth, my errand is to you. I bear this letter. I know not the contents. By the stern brow and waspish action with which Phoebe did write it, I fear it bears an angry tenor. Pardon me, I'm but a guiltless messenger.
Patience herself would start at this letter and played a swaggerer, but bear this, bear all. She says that I am not fair, she calls me proud, and that she could not love me were men as rare as Phoenix. Odds my will, her love is not the hare that I do hunt. Why writes she so to me? Well, Shepherd, well. This is a letter of your own invention.
No, I protest. Phoebe did write it.
Come, you are a fool, and turn to the very extremity of love. I saw her hand. She has a leathern hand. She has a freestone-coloured hand. I verily did think her old gloves were on, but 'twas her hand. She has a housewife's hand, but that's no matter. I say, she never did invent this letter. This is a man's invention, not his hand.
Sure it is hers.
'Tis a boisterous and cruel style. 'Tis a staff of challengers. Would you hear the letter?
Please, for I never heard it yet heard too much of Phoebe's cruelty.
She Phoebe's me. Mark how the tyrant writes. Art thou God to shepherd turned, that a maiden's heart hath burned? Can a woman rail thus?
Call you this railing?
Why thy godhead laid apart, wars thou with a woman's heart? Did you ever hear such railing? Whiles the eye of man did woo me, that could do no vengeance to me, meaning me a beast. If the scorn of your bright eyne have the power to raise such love in mine, alack in me what strange effect would they work in mild aspect? Whiles you chid me, I did love, how then might your prayers move? He that brings this love to thee, little knows this love in me. Whether that thy youth and kind will the faithful offer take of me and all that I can make, or else by him my love deny, and then I'll study how to die.
Call you this chiding?
Oh, alas, poor shepherd.
Will you pity him? No, he deserves no pity. Will you love such a woman? To make thee an instrument and play false strains on thee? No, not to be endured. Well, go thy way to her, for I see love hath made thee a tame snake, and say this. If she loves me, I charge her to love thee. If she will not, I will never have her unless thou entreat for her. If you be a true lover, hence, and not a word, here comes more company.
Good morrow, fair ones. Pray you, if you know, where in the purlieus of this forest stands a sheepcote fenced about with olive trees?
Oh, west of this place, down in the neighbour bottom, left on the stream and on your right hand is the post. But at this hour, the house keeps itself. There's none within.
If when I may profit by a tongue, then should I not know you by description? Such garments and such years, the boy is fair, of female favour, but bestows himself like a ripe sister. The girl is low and browner than her brother. Are you not the owners of the house I did inquire for?
No boast being asked to say we are.
Orlando doth commend you to her both, and to the youth that she calls her Rosalind, she sends this bloodied napkin. Are you he?
What might we understand by this?
It is some of my shame if you have known me what man I am and how and why and where this handkerchief is stained.
I pray you tell it.
When last the Ireland departed from you, she left with a promise to return again within an hour, and pacing through the forest, chewing the food of sweet and bitter fancy, lo, what befell? She threw her eye aside, and mark what object did present itself. Under an oak whose boughs were mossed with age, and high-top bald with dry antiquity, a wretched, ragged man, o'ergrown with hair, lay asleep on his back. About his neck a green and gilded snake had wreathed itself, and with a head nimble in threats approached the opening of his mouth. But suddenly, seeing Orlando, it unlinked itself, and with an indented glide did slide away under a bush. Under which bush's shade a lioness, udders all drawn dry, couching, head on ground, and cat-like watch as to when the sleeping man should stir, for 'tis the royal disposition of the beast to prey on nothing that doth seem as dead. That seen, Orlando did approach the man, and found it was her brother, her elder brother.
Oh, I have heard her speak of that same brother, and she did render him the most unnatural that lived amongst men.
She might do so, for all I know he was unnatural.
But to Orlando. Did she leave him there? Food for the second hungry lioness?
Twice she turned her back in purpose so, but kindness, nobler ever than revenge, and nature, stronger than her just occasion, made her give battle to the beast, which quickly fell before her, and from which miserable hurtling slumber I awaked.
Are you her brother? 'Twas you she rescued. 'Twas you who so oft contrived to kill her.
Was I, but it is not I. It does not shame me to tell you what I was, since my conversion so sweetly tastes being the thing that I am.
But to the bloody napkin.
By and by. From the first to the last betwixt us two, tears are a countenance and most kindly bathed. As to how I came to that desert place, in brief, she led me unto the gentle Duke, who gave me fresh array and entertainment, committing me unto my sister's love, who instantly led me into her cave, and there stripped herself, and here upon her arm the lioness had torn some flesh away, which all this while had bled, and she cried and she fainted, she cried in fainting upon Rosalind. Brief, I recovered her, and after some small space, being strong at heart, she sent me hither, stranger as I am, to tell this story that I might excuse her broken promise, and to give this napkin dyed in her blood unto the shepherd youth that she in sport doth call her Rosalind.
What Ganymede? How now Ganymede?
Many will swoon when they do look upon blood.
Oh, there is more to it. Has it Ganymede?
Look, he recovers.
Oh, I would I were at home. We'll lead you thither. Good, how will you take him by the arm?
Be of good cheer, you are a man. You lack a man's heart.
So I do. Sirrah! A boy would think this was well counterfeited. I pray you, tell your sister how well I counterfeited. Hey-ho!
That was not counterfeit. There was too great testimony in your complexion that it was passion of earnest.
Counterfeit, I assure you.
Well then, take a good heart and counterfeit to be a man.
So I do, but I should have been a woman by right.
You draw paler and paler. I pray you draw homewards. Good sir, will you go with us?
That will I, for I must bear answer back how you excuse my sister, Rosalind.
I will devise something, but I pray you commend my counterfeiting to her. Will you go?
We shall find a time, Audrey!
Patience, gentle Audrey!
The priest was good enough for all the old gentlemen saying.
A most wicked Sir Oliver, a most vile martext. But, Audrey, there is a youth here in the forest lays claim to you.
I know who it is. He has no interest in me in the world.
It is meat and drink to see me a clown. By my troth, we that have good wits have much to answer for. We shall be flouting. We cannot hold.
Good evening, Audrey.
Good evening, William.
Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, gentle friend. Cover thy head. Cover thy head. Nay, prithee, be covered. How old are you, friend?
5 and 20, sir.
Oh, my page. Is thy name William?
William, sir.
A fair name. Was born in the forest here?
Aye, sir. Aye, thank God.
Thank God. A good answer. Art which?
Faith, sir. So-so.
So is good. Very good. Very excellent good. But yet it is not but so. Art thou wise?
Aye, sir, I have a pretty wit.
Why, thou sayest well. I do remember saying. The fools think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. The heathen philosopher, when he had a desire to eat a grape, he would open his lips and put it into his mouth, meaning thereby that lips are made to open and grapes are made to eat. Do you love this maid?
I do, sir.
Give me your hand. Art thou learned?
No, sir.
Well, learn this of me. That all your rights do consent. Ipsy is he. You are not Ipsy, but I am he.
Which he, sir?
He, sir, let us marry this woman. Therefore, you clown. Abandon. Which in the vulgar is leave. The society, which in the boorish is company. Of this female, which in the common is woman, which together is abandon the society of this woman. Or thou perish. Or to thy better understanding, dies. To wit, I will kill thee, make thee away, translate thy life into death, thy liberty into bondage. I will deal in poison with thee, or a bastinado, or in steel. I will outrun thee in policy. I will kill thee 150 ways. Therefore tremble and depart.
Too good, William.
Don't you marry, sir?
Our mistress and master seeks you. Come, away, away.
Trip, Audrey, attend, I come.
Is it possible that on so little acquaintance you should like her, and upon seeing you should love her, and woo and wooing she should grant, and that you should persevere to enjoy her?
Neither call the giddiness of it into question, the poverty of her, the small acquaintance, my son wooing, her son consenting. But say with me, I love Aliena. Say with her that she loves me. Consent with both that we may enjoy each other. It shall be to your good, for my father's old house and all the revenue that were on Sir Roland's will I estate upon you, and live here and die a shepherd.
You have my consent. Let your wedding be tomorrow. Thither I'll invite all the Duke and his contented followers. But go now, prepare Aliena, for look here comes my Rosalind. God save you, brother.
Oh, my dear Orlando, how it grieves me to see you wear your heart and scarf.
'Tis my arm.
I thought your heart had been wounded with the claws of a lion.
It is, but with the eyes of a woman.
Did your brother tell you how I counterfeited a swoon when he showed me your handkerchief?
I am greater wonders than that.
Oh, I know where you are. Nay, it is true that whenever anything so sudden as the fight of 2 rounds, or Caesar's platonical brag of I came, saw, and overcame, that your brother and my sister no sooner met but looked. No sooner looked but loved. No sooner loved but sighed. No sooner sighed but asked each other the reason. No sooner knew the reason but saw the remedy. And in this degree they have made a pair of stairs to marriage, which they will climb incontinent or else be incontinent before marriage. They are in the very wrath of love, and they will together. Clubs cannot part them.
They shall be married tomorrow, and I shall bid the Duke to the nuptial. Oh, how bitter a thing it is to see happiness through another man's eyes. By so much more tomorrow shall I be at the height of heart heaviness by seeing my brother get what he wishes for.
When then tomorrow I cannot serve your turn for Rosalind.
I can no longer live by thinking.
I will weary you no longer then with idle talking. Know of me then, for now I speak to some purpose. That I know you are of good conceit. I speak not this that you should have a good opinion of my knowledge, in so much I say I know you are. Neither do I labour for a greater esteem that may by some little measure draw belief from you, to do yourself good and not to grace me. Believe then, if you will, that I can do strange things. I have, ever since I was a 3-year-old, conversed with a magician, profound in his art and yet not damnable. If you two love Rosalind as near your heart as your jester cries it out, when your brother marries Aliena, shall you marry her? I know into what straits of fortune she is driven, and it is not impossible to me, if it be not inconvenient to you, to set her before your eyes tomorrow, human as she is, and without any danger.
Speakest thou in sober meanings?
By my life I do, which I tender dearly, though I say I am a magician. Therefore, put in your best array, bid your friends, for tomorrow, if you will, you shall be married, and to Rosalind, if you will. Oh, look, here comes a lover of mine and a lover of hers.
Youth, you have done me much ungentleness to show that letter that I write to you.
I care not if I have. 'Tis my study to seem despiteful and ungentle to you. You are there followed by a faithful shepherd. Look upon him. Love him, he worships you.
Shepherd, tell this man what 'tis to love.
I was to be all made of sighs and tears, and so I am for Phoebe.
And so am I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for Nomad.
Is to be all made of faith and service, and so am I for Phoebe.
And so am I for Ganymede.
And so am I for Rosalind.
And so am I for Nomad.
To be all made of fancy, all made of passion, all made of adoration, all duty and observance, all humbleness, patience and impatience, all beauty, all wonder, all perfection, and so I am for Phoebe.
And so am I for Ganymede.
And so am I for Rosalind.
And so am I for Nomad.
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
Well, to who do you speak? Why blame you me to love you?
To her that is not here, nor doth not hear.
Enough, enough. It's like the howling of Irish wolves against the moon. I will help you if I can. I would love you if I could. But tomorrow meet all together. I will satisfy you, and you shall be married tomorrow. I will please you if what contents you pleases you, and you shall be married tomorrow. As you love Rosalind, meet. As you love Phoebe, meet. And as I love no man, I'll meet. So fare you well. I have left you commands.
I'll not fail.
Nor I.
Nor I.
Tomorrow! It's a joyful day, Audrey! Tomorrow we will be married!
I do desire with all my heart, and I hope it is no dishonest desire to desire to be woman of the world. Oh, here comes you the banished street's pages.
Well met, honest gentleman.
Why, my troth, well met! Come, sit and a song.
We are here for you. Oh. Sit in the middle. Shall we clap into it roundly, without hawking or spitting, or saying we are whores, which are the only products to our bad boys?
In faith, and both in a tune like two gypsies on a horse.
There was a lover and his lass, with a hey and a ho and a hey noddy no. And ring-a-ding-ding-a-ding-ding, sweet love, this pretty country was will lie in the springtime, the only ring-a-ding-ding-a-ding-ding, sweet lovers from the spring.
a ditty, but the note was very untunable.
You are deceived, sir. We kept time. We lost no time.
By my troth! God, help thee! God, lend your voices! Come, Audrey!
Dost thou believe, Orlando, that the boy can do all this that he hath promised?
I sometimes do believe and sometimes do not, as those who fear they hope and know they fear.
Patience once more while our compact is urged. You say, by bringing your Rosalind, you will bestow on Orlando here?
That would I, had I kingdoms to give with her.
You say you will have her when I bring her?
Well, that would I, where I will queendom's queen.
You say you will marry me, if I be willing?
That I shall die the hour after.
But if you refuse me, you will give yourself to this most faithful shepherd?
So is the bargain.
You say you'll have Phoebe, if she will?
Oh, as if her and death are both one thing.
I promise to make all this matter even. Keep your word, Duke, to give your daughter. You yours, Orlando, to receive his daughter. Keep your word that you'll marry me, or else, refusing me, wed Silvius. Keep your word, Silvius, that you'll marry her. And from hence I go, to make all this matter even.
I do remember in this shepherd boy some lively touches of my daughter's favour.
My lord, the first time I ever saw him, methought he was a brother to your daughter. But, good Duke, this boy is forest born and hath been trained in many rudiments of desperate studies by his uncle, whom he reports to be a magician obscured in the circle of this forest.
There is sure another flood toward. These couples are coming to the ark. Here comes a pair of very strange beasts, which in all tongues are called fools.
Salutation! And greeting to you all!
Good my lord, bid this man welcome. This is the motley-minded gentleman I have so often met in the forest. He hath been a courtier, he swears.
If any man doubt that, God help him. I've had 4 quarrels, 4 fights, run down 4 tailors, and I would like to afford at least one.
Is not this a rare fellow, my lord? He is as good at anything, and yet a fool.
He uses his folly like a stalking horse, and under the presentation of that he shoots his wit.
Within her bosom is.
To you I give myself, for I am yours. To you I give myself, for I am yours.
If there be truth in sight, you are my daughter.
If there be truth in sight, you are my Rosalind. Sight is shapely true. Why, my love? Did you?
I'll have no father if you be not he. I'll have no wife if you be not she. Nor ne'er wed woman if you be not she.
Peace, hope, I bar confusion. 'Tis I must make conclusion of these most strange events. He is 8 that must take hands to join in Hyman's band, if truth holds true contents. You and you no cross shall part. You and you are heart in heart. You to his love must accord, or have a woman to your lord. You and you are sure together, as the winter to foul weather. While the wedlock whom we sing, feed yourselves with questioning, that reason wonder may diminish, how thus we met, and these things finish.
Oh, my dear daughter, welcome thou art to me. Even niece, welcome, in no less degree.
I will not eat my words. Now art thou mine, thy faith and my fancy to thee to combine.
Let me have an audience for a word or two. I am the second son of old Roman. I bring these tidings to this fair assembly. True pleasure, hearing how that every day men of great worth resource this forest, addressed to mighty power, which one on foot in his own conduct, purposely to take his brother here and put him to the sword. Oh my God! To the skirts of this wild wood he came, where meeting with an old religious man, after some questions with him, was converted both from his enterprise and from the world. His crown bequeathed to his banished brother, and all their lands restored to him again, that were with him exiled. This to be true, I do engage my life.
Welcome, young man. Thou oughtest fairly for thy siblings' weddings. First, in this forest, let us do ends that here were well begun and well begot. And after, every of this happy number that have endured shrewd days and nights with us shall share the good of our returned fortunes, according to the measure of their states. Meantime, forget this new-fallen dignity, and fall into our rustic revelry, play music, and you, brides and bridegrooms all, with measure heaped in joy, to the measure's full!
Your patience! If I heard you rightly, the Duke had put on a religious life and thrown in neglect upon his court. He hath. To him will I. Out of these convertites there is much matter to be heard and learned. You to your former honour I bequeath. Your patience and your virtue well deserved it. You to a love that your true faith doth merit. You to your land and love and great allies. You to a long and well-deserved bed. And you to wrangling for thy loving voyage for but 2 months of victual. So, to your pleasures. I am for other than for dancing measures.
Stay, Jack. Stay.
To see no pastime, I. What you would have, I'll stay to know at your abandoned abode.
Proceed, proceed. We will begin these rites as we do trust they'll end. In true delights!
It is not the fashion to see the lady the epilogue, but 'tis no more handsome than to see the man the prologue. If it is true that good wine needs no bush, then 'tis true that good play needs no epilogue. Yet to good wines they do use good bushes, and good plays prove the better with the help of good epilogues. What a case am I in then, that I am neither a good epilogue, nor cannot insinuate with you on behalf of a good play. I am not fashioned like a beggar, so to beg will not become me. My way is to conjure you, and I'll start with the women. I charge you, O women, for the love you bear to men, to like as much of this play as please you. I charge you, O men, for the love you bear to women, as I perceive by your simpering none of you hates them, that between you and women the play may please. Were I a woman, I would kiss as many of you as had beards that pleased me, complexions that liked me, or breath that defied me not. And I am sure, as many of you as have good faces, or good beards, or sweet breaths, will, for my kind offer, when I make curtsy, bid me farewell.